Probably one of the best parts of Japanese fashion culture is the massive amount of artisanal and handmade goods that you can find pretty much everywhere if you're willing to look. Finding something unique isn't difficult is the point, and craftsmen and women are so much a part of the industry that it's often my biggest suggestion to discover once you come to Japan. You gotta find something handmade or artisanal. That's why today I want to showcase one of the most unique experiences from a Japanese business. Actually making a product alongside said master artisans, all while being located in an area that has all the charm of old school 80s and 90s Japan. That area is Sangenjaya. Sangenjaya often ranks as one of the best places to live in Japan and is considered pretty trendy and fashionable, but in a purely Japanese way. This is an area where you won't see a ton of tourists or attractions, but stands as a place for the neighboring celebrities and young socialites of Japan that reside in the connecting corridors of Shibuya and Setagaya. Another plus, at least for me, is that I live in the same vicinity of Sangenjaya. I go there quite often, which is a pointed flex, I know, but seriously, where Shimo Kitazawa faltered for me, Sangenjaya pick up the slack ever so sweetly. With a mix of retro charm and gritty atmosphere, Sangenjaya is the epitome of 80s, 90s Japan, with its Eko Nakamise shopping street and bar and restaurant alleyways that harken back to a time that we really wished were back. That's why the spot that you'll be checking out today is so special. It's located in Sangenjaya, within a 1-minute walking distance from the station, in a seemingly unassuming building. But inside is an operation where its charm and expertise is something that is a one-of-a-kind experience. That place is Mitsubachi. Mitsubachi is a handmade jeweler that specializes in rings. However, its Sangenjaya location offers a unique experience. The ability to make your own ring alongside one of the master artisans with multiple options and customizations. It's one of those experiences that changed the nature of simple DIY, and I sat down with one of those artisans in hopes of making my very own custom ring.
鳥光和樹と申します。よろしくお願いします。職人を20年ほどやっておりまして、ミツバチでは1年やっております。ミツバチはやっぱりワークショップとして三軒茶屋っていうそうですね、この場所でやっぱあるっていうのは特別なことだと思います。やっぱり多くのワークショップは表参道ですとか、やっぱそういったところに集中してる中、やっぱ三軒茶屋っていうところで、やっぱりあるのは特別な感じがします。はい。
Listening to Kazuki's directions and information about Mitsubachi made it clear that despite being a seemingly small operation, Mitsubachi had done very well. As a jeweler for over 20 years, Kazuki schooled me on all the techniques and aspects of his craft, including the by hand engraving process.
これはですね、ここに代表的な部分ですと、まずはじゃあこちらアルファベットの文字と、そしてこういった数字の文字。では早速エングレービングをスタートしていきます。ここにですね、レジさんの使う刻印を揃えておきました。THECASUAL お間違いないでしょうか。
THECASUAL. That makes sense. It's the name of the channel.
はい。これはですね、シンプルですけども、こちらのまずは T、この打つ場所は、お客様の好みなんですけども、このテープが2つ貼ってあります。この最初にマテリアルの刻印とミツバチの刻印がロゴマークが入ってますので、そこからだいたい少し離したところからこちらですね、ここからスタートすると結構バランスが良かったりします。
いいね。
はい。じゃあここからちょっとスタートいたしましょう。私ちょっとお手伝いします。はい。はい。
So
Kazuki basically did the entire process that was hard for me, which is kind of like before the filing and sanding process. It's part of the soldering process, just making it nice and clean. You know, you polish the inside with the casual on it, you polish the outside. So what we're gonna do right now is the next process, which is kind of like the filing and sanding. I'm going to do that part, a little bit of that part. And then we're gonna go right into the texturing because we do have texturing on my ring. You guys absolutely have no idea how fun this is for me because I've always been fascinated with ring making. I like it. I've always wanted to try to do it. And I realized that the equipment is dummy expensive unless you're doing like, you know, ad hoc, DIY, at home process. But this right here, this is what I've always been interested in. I've always liked the process of making jewelry. And if I ever get the chance, hopefully, not just make my own for me, but hopefully make some for you guys. But yeah, I like the process of making things. It's probably the reason why I love fashion so much, is just the making process, the creative process. And it may surprise you because even though it seems like a small little shop in Sangenjaya, they have worldwide presence. I just saw some people in here who were not Japanese who were getting some rings done. That should tell you everything that you need to know. いいですか?
完璧だと思いますね。
ありがとうございます。
はい、すみません。いいですね。かなり整ってます。
I did a good job. Yay!
After the engraving process, Kazuki gave me a chance to do the resizing of my ring to ensure that it fit, and he also schooled me on the texturing process, of which the options are aplenty. But essentially, it changed my smooth, clean draft of a ring into this. A pebble textured version that was more akin to what I wanted and something that was uniquely my own. But the process wasn't finished. After that, Kazuki impressed with his technique of another resizing to ensure we were good to go on that front. We did a final check on that sizing, and then Kazuki did another round of filing to clean up any areas that I may have missed. He then did a second round of polishing, but sensing that I wasn't doing my job in the process, and that is being a part of this entire thing, he taught me how to use the polisher in the workshop and gave me the chair to finish off the job. All of which resulted in a customized platinum ring that was just a one-of-a-kind experience. Now, we're gonna take a look at the details in a second of the ring as we have it right here. But before I do that, I wanna go ahead and give a big thank you to Mitsubachi, Kazuki, and the entire staff for tolerating me for that whole time. I gave them, I hope I was gracious. They were a great bunch, and it was one of my favorite recent experiences in Japan for sure, bar none. That said, if you want to check out Mitsubachi, their info should be presented to you right about now and in the description of this video. All the links and whatnot, check them out, do it. If you're coming to Japan, it's a one-of-a-kind of experience. I cannot recommend them enough. They do a great job on wedding bands, engagement rings, and even allow for couples customization and in-house stone setting, which is pretty unique for any ring place. It's pretty much a great way to start off the life you may be about to have with a significant other, if that's up your alley, but it's still good to know, it really is. In any case, check out Mitsubachi at Sangenjaya, but don't overdo it. Despite its status as a trendy area, Sangenjaya still has an air of local bastion. So it's one of those act like a local and it's cool places. It's chill and a great way to get away from the typical crowds. And admittedly, with places like Mitsubachi, it's hard to pass up. Anyway, the ring. So real quickly, as you saw in the Mitsubachi studio, I opted for the textured ring in platinum because why not? It's always good to have a platinum piece in my opinion. Plus it reminds me of the times where everyone was screaming about platinum. I don't know if you guys remember that, but yeah, platinum used to be crazy. So I just got platinum. The engraving on the inside is the casual because obviously, now some of you might be thinking it's not completely even, and for you OCD people out there, it might be a bit too much to handle, but remember, this is not a laser etched, this is handmade. So these slight imperfections give that piece a tone of personality, and it's just more of a connection to that moment. I just won't forget it. That is, if you care about that kind of thing. I happen to care about that kind of stuff a lot. I mean, I live in Japan, wabi-sabi and all, you know. Anyway, the textured pebbling was also a personal touch. I absolutely wanted something unique like this, and I was pretty happy with the end result. Personally, I find places like Mitsubachi to be the real kind of experiences in Japan that make it special. While the popular stuff is notable, can't forget those, I find myself consistently looking for something more personal and experience-driven. As a foreigner living in Japan, despite living here for quite a while, most of you probably be like, they still look, yes, still a foreigner. But with that, I'm still fascinated by how often it's so common to find something personal and special like Mitsubachi. That's what keeps me here, right? Just to be honest. It's not that it doesn't exist anywhere else as far as this process, but the consistency and discovery element in Japan is so frequent, there's a bit of fear of missing out if you don't traverse the lesser known places and those experiences. You're basically getting half of Japan if you don't discover. At least that's what I believe. And I suppose that's the same with pretty much every place. I just know it's incredibly special in Japan. In any case, once again, I want to send a big thank you to everyone at Mitsubachi. And as I said, check them out via the info you see on the episode and in the description, and let us know what you think. Are you interested in making jewelry, doing a little bit of DIY alongside a artisan, or having these kind of experiences in Japan or anywhere else? Are there specialized retailers you respect in Japan that people should know? Let it be known in the comments. Perhaps I can check them out myself if I don't know. Anyway, join us on Patreon for extended, unfiltered commentary on topics just like this, as well as other benefits as well. We're trying to build that out, so it's really great if you go there as we move on to becoming even more independent. At the very least, be sure to like, sub, and turn on notifications if you found this content valuable or entertaining to you. But most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info on international fashion culture and business from Tokyo. It's your boy, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. And I will see you guys in a minute. And again, I can't thank Mitsubachi enough. Thank you guys. Arigatou gozaimashita.